Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about migraines. Migraines in general, signs and symptoms, what to do, what not to do, what can and can't help. Also, my journey with migraines and how I have decreased the frequency and intensity, all natural, no medications. So, without further ado, signs and symptoms of a migraine. Migraines are typically a headache different from any other headache. Migraines are typically a throbbing, pulsing, pounding, just debilitating type headache. It can start in one side of the head or the other. It can kind of go back and forth. It can be in your forehead, around your eyes, in the back of your head. And during the first part of the migraine, the first phase, you will experience something within a few hours to a few days before. Not everyone will get this. Some people will. And it would be like an increased craving for different types of foods. Such as for me, sometimes I will crave more sweet foods, like something like chocolate or something sugary, and that can be a sign of a migraine coming on. Another thing is seeing flashing lights, or in general, feeling a numbness and tingling feeling in your face or arms or legs. You may feel stiffness in your neck, weakness in general. You may feel like your hearing isn't right. You may feel like you can't see very well, or you may not be able to speak very clearly. Like I said, this doesn't happen to everyone, but it can. So that's the first phase. The second phase is the attack phase, which is when that pain sets in. Now, the pain can be, like I said, one side or another. It can go back and forth in your forehead, back of the head, sinus area, and around your eyes. Everyone's different, and just know that it's normal if you get, say, the forehead and the back of the head together, or say your whole head in general. I've gotten that where it's just your whole head is pounding. So these are all different types of migraines. Migraines can even mimic a sinus headache or stroke, which is even more severe. Sometimes you can experience nausea, experience vomiting during this attack phase, and sensitivity to light, sensitivity to sound, and it's not fun. Sometimes you can lose part of your hearing, or your vision might go. And just know, if you're afraid, make sure you talk to your doctor about this. There may be something they can do, but even after the migraine has subsided, you can have residual effects, almost like a hangover type feeling, where you might feel a little foggy. You might have a dull pain left in your head, especially if it was an intense migraine. And also, you may feel a little tired still, for about a day. And there's different types of preventative medicines. There's many different treatments out there these days. But for me, one of the things that helps me during an attack is sleep, ice. around my head, sometimes heat around my neck, and silence and darkness. I don't like to be bothered, and migraines can last anywhere between a few hours to a few days for some people. So that's pretty much that portion of this video. Now I'm going to go into my journey. My journey started back in 2002. I was getting headaches. I didn't know they were migraine at that time. I was coming home from school every single day with pain around my eyes, in my sinus area, forehead, and I just couldn't function. All I wanted to do was pop some pills, Advil, Aleve, Excedrin, and just go to sleep with ice on my head. Sometimes this would work, sometimes this wouldn't work. And that would happen every day, you guys. Every day. It was not fun. I feel like I didn't have a life. I couldn't have friends I could hang out with because they always knew I would have a headache. It was very depressing, and I couldn't have a lot of fun because I was having these headaches every day. I felt like I couldn't even have a normal life. So I had gone to the doctor, and they sent me for a CAT scan to make sure everything looked okay because of the fact that I was having these sinus type headache symptoms. So they found that I had like a congestion or something in my forehead sinus area, which was like, oh, that's why you're getting the headaches, because of this congestion. So they put me on this medicine, and it seemed to work for about a year or two. Then the headaches just came back. Yes, they came back. Not as frequent. A few times a week, a few times a month, something like that. But yes, they did come back. And I remember thinking, great, I'm not going to have a life again. Every day, just over and over and over again, I'm going to have a headache. And I felt like I couldn't focus in school. There were times in school my teachers would know when I had a headache, and I would just have to put my head down. And there were times where I'd have to just go to the nurse and just ask for ice and see if I could just lay down there for a while and see if it would help. There were times where, even though I wasn't supposed to bring medication to school, I would bring a few Advil or Excedrin with me just in case I needed it in between. And then they had stopped again. After high school, they had stopped for a little while. And that was great. I felt like, yes, I can live life again. I can pursue a career. I can do this. I can do that again. I can have friends. I can hang out. Be a natural, regular person. That didn't last long either. About 2 years, 3 years tops. And I remember I had 2 car accidents, both with whiplash. And I didn't feel like I could have had any problems due to the whiplash, but within a year after the second one, in 2010, my neck started bothering me, and my headaches came back, and I'm like, what is going on? And I found out that a lot of the problems with the migraines now were from my neck, from the whiplash, and nothing really resolved itself after that car crash. So a lot of my problems aren't necessarily with the neck. But now I had gone to another doctor and they put me on preventatives, and I was allergic to it. Don't get me wrong, even though I was allergic to it, it did help some. And I had gone to chiropractors in between being allergic to that medicine and going back to a neurologist a few years later. I'd gone to chiropractors. That seemed to help a little bit. Just overall, just kind of watched what I was doing, dealing with the pain and everything. And the next doctor I went to gave me more preventatives. Those made me feel like crap. And it seemed like preventative after preventative, nothing was working. And my last choice was to do Botox. I was like, no, thank you. And then they had said that vitamins may help. Magnesium, CoQ10 may help. I do have to say it did help for about 3 to 4 months once I started taking them. It took about 2 weeks to start seeing a slight result. And after that, they just kind of came back again. Being that I declined the Botox, I didn't really have any other choice. So I was either going to deal with it or find something else. So I started digging into research on natural things. And I came across this migraine shake, and I thought I would give it a try. And nothing could hurt. It was natural, fruit, vegetables. It could be doing good for my body. So I tried it. Within the first month, it decreased by, I would say, 10 headaches. So I was going from 20 headaches a month down to 10 headaches a month, which was a big improvement. So then they kind of stabilized for a while. By the end of that year, they had, just by taking the shake one time a day, they had decreased by 75%, you guys. 75%. That's a huge decrease. Still to this day, I'm only getting 4 to 5 headaches a month, and the intensity has gone down tremendously. My headaches used to be up to here, like about an 8 or 9 on the pain scale, sometimes even a 10 on rare occasions. And now they don't get above a 5. Yes, there are days when I still feel like I can't get out of bed. I still feel like I have light and sound sensitivity. I do still get nausea and sometimes vomiting. Sometimes, if they're bad enough, I do get dizziness, but it's far less than what I used to get. Something else that I had found that helped me was a log, which the neurologist told me to do, and it did help. The log consists of when I would get the headaches, how intense they were, and how long they lasted, and if I would have to take medicine for it. Now, another thing was to try to identify the triggers. Now, how you can do that is, once you get a migraine, remember at least try to remember everything that you did, ate, activity, everything you were doing before that migraine occurred. Now, if you see a pattern of what you were doing, what you were eating, then that can be a trigger for you. For me, the triggers were birth control, which they took me off of, and sometimes not getting enough sleep, my diet being poor, too much physical activity, like strenuous activity. I don't mean like walking or whatever. I meant like heavy weight training, strenuous cardio, that type stuff. Even sometimes before a storm, like a thunderstorm, snowstorm, those type things, when the barometric pressure kind of fluctuates, um, that can trigger. So that's a big thing that you have to try to work on, is trying to find your triggers, because if you can prevent a migraine, that's a benefit for you. Um, so I hope this video helps, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the description, and I will, I will put up the migraine shake for you guys, because it helped me so much, and I hope it would help you. It's super simple, and you can have it any time of day, morning, noon, night, whenever, as long as you get it in. So please like and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Bye.